Jaykrawls back to do another video. This one is going to be building the perfect boss strike army. What kind of units is it going to take to get through all 5 waves? Because you got to be honest. The people who are scoring the most points on your leaderboards are the guys who are getting through all 5 waves without losing any units or very minimal loss of units. So you want to be up there with those guys who are making that many points. If you're only using wimps and you're trying to get anywhere near those guys, you're going to be playing every minute of the boss strike just to try to even get halfway to what these guys are getting. It took me a little while during this past boss strike to finally get to that point where I could take less damage and get through all the waves. But it cost me some nanopods and it cost me some time. I had to sit there and figure it out. One thing that I don't recommend is you spending all your dadgum nanopods on this annual Jubilee charity drive for a stupid red-nosed raptor. Yes, you can get it. It's cool to have. But don't waste your nanopods on us. Some people may be wasting up to 200 nanopods on that thing when all they're going to get is a little raptor that they're only going to play with every once in a while. It's not really going to be useful for the boss strikes. Take those nanopods and buy things that are going to be helpful to build your army. Here's what you need to do. Rebels, Raiders, and Silver Wolves spawn throughout your base. Find some of the hardest ones that you can find on your base. And think about, imagine 5 waves of those coming. How are you going to get through all 5 waves of those? What are you going to need? Well, you got 3 rows here. Your first row here is going to be what we like to call the meat shields. So you can kind of lump your units into categories when you're thinking about what you need. You're going to need some meat shields up front. Those are usually going to be your mega tanks or your super tanks or your heavier tanks. Whatever you have that you're going to use, you're going to want to rank them up to rank 6 because they're going to have the most armor and the most hit points at that rank. So get them as strong as you can. You don't want to use walls because if you just use walls, once they die, once all your other units die, then they're useless. They don't do anything and the game is over. So, and plus, these guys can shoot in a pinch. They can actually be useful, taking out some guys on the back row and other things. So, you want your meat shields to have dual capabilities. The next thing that you want is mass casualty units. You're going to want to put back here your mass casualty units. What do you have that can get the most damage? The legendary mammoths, what was it called? The bone-shaking cry. That was very awesome because it could stun all the units, almost all the units on the board, and do a lot of damage to them as well. So that's a mass casualty unit. If you got a bunch of those, then that's awesome. They may be helpful in future boss strikes. But there's other options. The trebuchet has mass casualty damage options, although it's not quite as strong. It can do that. Also, your ETs have the capability. Your veterans have the capability to hit more than 1 row at a time. So those guys like these are your mass casualty units because they can hit a bunch of units on the board and do a lot of damage spread out. So you want some of those on the middle row. It's also better if you have some that can actually lock units down, like stunning capabilities or freezing capabilities, because they can't shoot you, and every time they can't shoot you with their units, that means that you're likely to get further in that boss strike without losing units. And finally, well, there's 2 more things actually. You want an anti-air unit, and the reason I like the UH-1B is because it has an anti-air shot that can pretty much kill an air unit in 1 shot. So I really like that. Plus, it also has the capability to hit the whole board with some mass casualty. So in a pinch, I've had to use that to take out a bunch of units at the same time as well. So you want something in anti-air. You don't want a lot of anti-air units, but you need at least 1 or 2 in there. The the other thing that you're going to want to need is a cleanup unit. Okay, I don't have enough space, but a cleanup unit, the reason I like the trebuchet, because it also can do mass casualty. It can do the poison, where a unit that needs to be poisoned, or it can do flames if there's a unit that's more susceptible to flame damage. But it has this single shot capability right here that can pretty much take out any unit on the board, almost any unit on the board, with just one shot, or just about kill it. And then when you put the mass casualty on top of that, there you go. So he will never shoot with that guy at the beginning. I've taken him out right off the bat. That guy does a lot of damage throughout the board, so I've taken his mass casualty unit out. Now these other guys are mass casualty units, so you're going to want to strategically try to take out units when you're fighting against them. So that is the key. So find an army that works. Take that army and fight everything that you have available to you, and see how much damage it takes. If you start losing units just after one round, think about what you're going to do after 5 rounds. It's all going to be over. That means you need to build a stronger army, you need to rank them up, or you need to buy more units. But if you can handle everything that you have, then you've put together the perfect army for the boss strikes. Z2 will always throw a twist in there in the boss strikes. They'll beef up some of their units, add a few more units that make it more challenging, that may end up hurting your strategy. But you need to have some alternates. Don't just put all your eggs into one basket. Have a couple of options that you can use. I have a bunch of the ETs, but I also have a bunch of the vets and the trebuchets, and I even have some other supers and other tanks that I can use if I have to. So be a little versatile with your army. And remember, the more versatility that a unit has in doing, say, mass casualty, anti-air capabilities, or cleanup units, like the trebuchet with a raptor shot that can take anything out in one shot, or a sniper, or something like that for a cleanup unit, the more versatile those units are, the better off that you will be, the more success that you'll have in the boss strike itself. So find that perfect army, and once you do, start producing it, mass producing it. Start building a bunch of those. Be ready. Have a bunch of those units ready for the next boss strike, all the while you're ranking them up, getting them stronger. Okay, now that you're ranking them up, getting them stronger, where are you going to heal them at? Advanced repair bays, or your repair bays. If they're not all the way to 10, if they're not maxed out at level 10, then get them there. Do we have to get them there? Because it's the worst thing sitting there waiting 4 or 5 hours for something to heal when you could have ranked it up and it only take 30 minutes. Here's just an example of that. The Mega Tank, if you just have a repair bay, it can take 4 hours at level 1, where it only takes an hour and 20 minutes at level 10. Plus, look how much resources you're wasting. 3,100 more steel versus just 720 at 10. So you're going to go through your stuff so much faster, your oil, and even your widgets. You're going to use your special resources a lot quicker because of that. So that is critical. Find how much storage you have as well. If you don't have enough storage, then you need to get some, because when it's coming up to time for a boss strike, you need to put up, you need to fill up your storage as much as possible. Don't do anything stupid, like right before a boss strike, go out and fight the Ancient Sentinel, because all you're going to do is have a huge repair bill. All your stuff's going to be stuck in the hospitals, and you're just giving up resources. Build enough refinement facilities to store those up and have those ready for the boss strikes. Advanced hospitals, or hospitals as well, rank those things up so that you have all 10 spaces to heal from, and it takes limited time. An advanced 10 hospital takes 54 seconds to heal a wimp. 54 seconds, that's not a lot of time, and you will need that time during the boss strike. You will need as many units as you can get your hands on as fast as possible. So have those resources available. And another last tip, during the boss strike, you know how you can donate? the higher the level, the tier you guys are at, the more your donations are worth. So you may want to hold off on all the donations until until the end, unless you're at max. If you're at max, give 1 or 2 here or there just so you can keep building those things. But if you're not at max, wait till the end and give all the resources, because that way you get the most boss points as possible during the boss strike. All right, I hope this video helps you in building that perfect army. I may do a follow-up video on this, just kind of show you, to walk through that if you feel like it's needed. If you found a perfect army, leave a comment below what you did, or how you put together an army that's very effective against almost everything and hardly ever gets killed. Because other people might say, hey, I've got some of those, I can use that. We're all here to help each other, right? Alright guys, hope you've enjoyed playing Battle Nations this boss strike. If you're frustrated this boss strike, that means you were not prepared. So get there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel. Let someone know about me and your guild so that they can also subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep putting out good videos if as long as you guys want to see them. Alright guys, enjoy.